as well, and we keep them busy.
I can tell from what you've told me that where you get such, your reward is probably seeing the faces of some of the children or hearing the really good stories that the teachers share with you when they receive some of these things. But also, it's such a good feeling for a child to start school with such a positive attitude.
Right.
So hopefully that gets them through the year, helps get them through the year. What I did want to ask you though was, how did you feel when you found out you had been nominated to be a living legend?
Very surprised. I just wanted to know who nominated me. I wanted to do some research, find out what was going on, because I just didn't know my name was even in the hat for this. So just to be nominated was a good feeling.
Has your life changed in any way, or people recognize you a little bit more? Or
I've heard from a few people that have heard about it. I'm not bragging too much right now.
Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And I just wish you the best and continue with what you're doing. And I'm going to move down to Bill. I don't want Bill to think we've left you out. Bill, so great for you to be here today. You're involved with an organization or with the Miracle Baseball League of Alexandria. And do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. What we're interested in doing is providing outdoor recreation opportunities for special needs kids in our therapeutic recreation community. And one of the ways of doing that is we partner with a national organization called the Miracle League out of Georgia. And they sponsor what is called a Miracle Field, which is a rubberized surface baseball diamond that we had built down at the Lee Center in Alexandria, and it allows wheelchairs and walkers to be used safely and in a pleasant environment. So our whole goal is to provide outdoor opportunities for kids who may not have had that opportunity before.
I just want to back up just a little bit, because you're involved with this wonderful organization, but actually you've been part of the Alexandria Parks and Recreation Department for a while.
Yeah, I've had a lot of experience, mostly in the field of coaching youth basketball or youth soccer, and that probably goes back 25 to 30 years, starting with your own kids, and then you see what a good opportunity that they have. They can learn, and you just want to keep helping the kids out. I think, as Captain Bailey had said, you get the thanks by somebody smiling or coming back. Or I've had opportunities to help kids that I started coaching when they were young do college applications, and take them out to college, get them settled in there, and help them with homework. Just whatever they need. That's what we're interested in.
And who's eligible to participate in this league?
For the Miracle League itself, it's individuals who qualify for the therapeutic recreation program in Alexandria, which is, generally speaking, somebody with a physical or mental challenge. And it can be a full range from being in a wheelchair to, maybe just having, an auditory, problem. But our goal is to give all kids the opportunities that, maybe some of us had when we were growing up, to play the sports. And while we've built a baseball field for them to use, we think it can also be used for wheelchair basketball, assisted bowling. We're limited only by our imagination as to what the kids can do.
Right, and I understand you actually started out with a dirt field.
Yeah, very much so. It was a challenge. While we were undertaking the construction of the field, we wanted to provide the opportunity for these players. And we played on a dirt field, and it became quite a challenge. If it rained, you couldn't do a wheelchair next couple of days. I think there's a picture of our...
the picture of it. And it's kind of like your typical Saturday morning, go to the field and play a baseball game. And
we try to make it special for the kids. We have an audio system there. We play music. We do the national anthem. We have the kids parade out.
Right.
And we'll sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." We have free food that's provided to the spectators and the thing, just to make it an experience like we had when we were growing up.
What I was going to mention, when we saw that past slide where we had the dirt field, then we could see what it looks like now, the new one, in contrast to it, is very up to date, and like you said, it's rubberized, I believe. So does that help, I assume, with the mobility, and it's also maybe a safety precaution too, in case someone has a tumble, that rubberized portion of the field?
Yeah, it's not as soft as you would see a rubberized surface in a playground, because we need to have it firmer for the wheelchairs. but it does provide a safe environment for them to play the ball.
And easier maybe to maneuver if
Oh,
someone's in a
absolutely.
wheelchair.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask too, because with all these great games going on, I'm sure you need volunteers. So could you tell us a little about the volunteers?
Under the Miracle
what they
League,
do?
program out of Georgia, they have what they call Angels in the Outfield, which is our volunteers. And we usually look to get about 15 or 20 volunteers at each game. And their goal is to assist our players in fielding, running, and hitting the ball. And that every hit is a home run. Every time a ball is hit in the field, we try to have as many of our players touch the ball. And that's what the volunteers do. And they come from the entire community. We have church groups. We've had the T.C. Williams baseball team, the T.C. Williams softball team, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, just any number of people. It's as heartwarming to see the volunteers as to see the players react to the volunteers.
And it sounds like it's a whole community effort. I'm sure the volunteers probably get as much out of it. Just the reward for them is just, like as you said, just seeing the young people, the children, have the joy of playing the game.
Absolutely. What we'll have is they'll come out as a volunteer and then they'll want to come out more. So we almost sometimes have to say, no, we have to wait for a different group coming in and then you can come back for the next game.
Right. And also, too, in the creation of this new field, there was a group where I think we've seen some slides, Kelly Cares. Maybe you want to kind of just inform us a little bit about that.
If I could, Deborah, that's a good point. The field is actually named the Kelly Cares Miracle Field. And the Kelly Cares Foundation is a great group of people who are dedicated to helping the therapeutic recreation program in Alexandria. Kelly was the daughter of the Swanson family and passed away unexpectedly after having done a lot of work in the therapeutic community. And they've continued the tradition, donating many things to the therapeutic program. And again, helping us, donated $40,000 towards the field, and they provide a lot of the volunteer support for it. But it's just a great group of people to work with.
And what do you see as the future for Miracle Baseball?
Well, right now we started with about 30, 35, players, and it ranges from 10 years old to people in the mid-50s. We expect that we'll probably cap out around 200 players, once it gets going. And we want to make use of the field for a multitude of services. It can be used by T-ball, for T-ball games. We have senior, kickball games or wiffle ball games that it can be used for. So we want to make it a community destination. It's geared towards our special needs community. We want them to know it's their field and to be proud of it. And just seeing their faces when they go on that field makes it all worthwhile.
And you brought something with you
Yes,
that we'd
indeed.
like to see.
Yes, if I could hold this up.
Right.
We had our dedication ceremony in November of 2012, and we had about 250 shirts that we gave out to the attendees as well as to our players. And what it was, again, is just making it something special for our kids. A lot of these players, people have not had the experience that some of the rest of us have had in, sports games and stuff. And we want them to experience anything and everything that we can. So this is a special thing. We'll leave this for you, Deborah, and whatnot. It's a little small, but it's just a token of our appreciation of having the opportunity of speaking about our group here.
Oh, thank you very much. What do the participants do in the off season? Do they?
Most of the time in the off season, they're in an indoor therapeutic program, and that plays in the foundation we talked about. The Kelly Cares Foundation had purchased equipment for a multi-sensory room, which plays to the strengths of the individuals as to what tactile, sensory feeling things they have. But one of the things that we're looking at is building off the success of the Miracle Field is that we want to build a therapeutic recreation pool right next to the field, and we'll be starting that effort shortly. I want to give them a little more opportunity to experience. Again, anything that an able-bodied kid should have, they should be able to have too.
Right. So they're actually getting a chance to throw a ball.
Absolutely.
And to swing a bat, and even if they need help in mobility, they can go around the bases because the volunteers provide that assistance.
Correct. The volunteers could be pushing a wheelchair, or they could be holding the hand of somebody who wants to run, or they can just run next to them. And in the field, a lot of times, they can help catch the ball. And again, we'll make sure that somebody has it in their hand and then throws it to the next player.
And I was going to say, and the best part, to hear the roar of the crowd.
Absolutely. We have, again, commentary that goes on, again, just like a regular baseball game. And when those kids cross home plate and jump on that plate with both hands up in the air, it's great.
Right. And I'm wondering, too, how did you feel when you found out you were now a living legend.
I was very humbled by it. I agree with Captain Bailey that it's an experience that you don't really anticipate, happening to you. And when I hear of the other people who have been honored, I just think, I feel very special to be part of that group. And it's an honor that, again, I want to thank anyone and everyone in Alexandria for.
Well, thank you to both of you, and thank you to Nina.
You're welcome.
And it's just been a pleasure. What I was going to say to wrap up, could you let us know, Bill, do you have a site if people want to know more about the
Absolutely,
Miracle
yeah. We have a website where you can go to, and you'll be able to see, pictures of the entire development of the Miracle Field, and then, points of contact and being able to sign up. It's www.miracleleagueofalexandria.com.
And Captain Bailey, was there a website for your, I think, friends?
Right, yes,
Right.
to just get a better feel of what we're doing out in the community, you can go to www.ffandfriends, the number 2, therescue.org.
Okay, and so you expect your phones to be ringing off the hook. Well, this has been great, and I guess it's going to be a really exciting time. Do you plan to take anybody in particular with you to the reception, to the ceremony?
I'm probably going to take my parents for sure, just because they're from Alexandria. It'd be
that'd
exciting
great.
for them
And they'll
to go.
be proud.
Yes.
And you, Bill?
My wife will be going because she's put it off a lot with me being out at night at these events and raising funds for the field. So
Kinda
she
owe her a
deserves a
night
little
out.
song.
Yes,
Yep,
yes,
yep.
well
This will qualify as a
deserved.
date for us.
For both of you.
That's a good idea.
And Nina, I was wondering, do you have, these two gentlemen represent certain part of the community? Are there other facets that we didn't talk about tonight that are being covered? We won't give out any secrets, but
Well,
we
I
have,
mentioned that we have artists, we have community activists. There's a woman who was involved in getting the police to help the neighbors get drugs out of the community. There's somebody involved in beautifying the neighborhood. Lots and lots of areas.
so I'm sure you'll be all looking forward to that, and much success to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nina, for joining me today, and Captain Bailey and Bill Rivers. Thank you so much for being with me. And I'd like to thank our audience for tuning in again to On the Go with AAUW. Please join us next time for another show.